Hello everyone and welcome to day 34 of my 100-day project. I wanted to put this image here so you could see what I was starting with. There's an eye in that upper right hand area, and that's what informed me on my piece today. I kind of went with what was there. What was really interesting was that it looks like a skull. And for a moment as I was doing this sketch, I thought, ooh, that could be really interesting to do a skull. And then as I was doing it, I was kind of like, I don't want to think that hard, to be honest. And I was looking at the lighter marks that were there. This is a surface that I prepped with the clear Color Fix primer with a couple of drops of orange, flame orange from Daler Rowney acrylic ink. So I saw that swoop that was coming over that eye, and I thought, oh, maybe this is hair. And I thought, okay, let me do something. I didn't want to think too much. I just wanted to grab some colors, keep it more on the loose side, and just do something funky with bright colors was kind of what I was thinking. And I brought out my Unison set of soft pastels. They're really soft, so I usually save those towards the end. But I ended up doing the most of this with those Faber Castell ones. I don't know, I'm just really enjoying them, so that's what I've been doing. And it's been working out for the most part, except on the left side of the face. I was thinking I would do it in mostly purples. Again, purple and orange. If you don't know this about me by now, you will learn very quickly. It's one of my go-to combos. And I just could not get the right shades of purple. You'll see me. If like one value's too light and I'm trying to get that, there's not enough variation. It's too much contrast. So I'm like kind of fighting with that left side of the face a little bit. And I don't have a lot of real estate for the eye to work with. So I'm trying to kind of punch that up a little bit. And I thought as I was doing this, when I was trying to think what color should I do the eye, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if in this really bright, colorful face, they had sort of a neutral kind of eye. And so that's what I did. I gave them a brown eye. And I'm just kind of building up that eye bag, that shape there. And you'll notice that my glove, again, tracked a little bit of that turquoise into the orange on the face, and I left it. I thought, that's kind of cool, just a little bit of random color there. Clearly, I'm not going for anything realistic here by any stretch. So I'm like, let me just do that and see what happens. The mouth ended up getting a little bit muddy on me. I think keeping to those Faber Castells, they're a little bit harder. So while they work really well for sketching and the initial layers, I could have switched over to something softer at this point to have them layer a little bit more because they were just kind of rubbing off what was underneath. So again, me learning about using pastels in this way. I also have a really dark blue line around the mouth, and I try to soften that with some of these light colors, and I end up blending it in a little bit, and the blue isn't going anywhere. It's a pretty heavy pigment, and I was getting tired at this point. I was like, okay, I'm ready to be done. So I was like, okay, maybe he's got like a little mini mustache. So that's what it is. So I just went with it. Again, I was not going to fight this painting today. I was going to let this character emerge and evolve the way they wanted to. So that's what I did. And I had a lot more fun with it when I do that. So some funky colors, some really rough shapes in there. And yeah, I just went with it. So here I am trying to layer different shades of purple to try and get the values where I want them to be. I don't want it to be so harsh between that volume on the cheek and the shadows that are around it. And so I'm just trying to pull things in there, knowing the thing about pastel is you can't layer and layer and layer infinitely like you can with oil or even watercolor. I mean, with watercolor, it's going to get darker as you layer, but with acrylic, you just dry and layer and dry and layer. And with pastel, I feel like you have to be a little more planful and intentional. So I've got that in the back of my head that I'm limited with the number of layers. So it's best if I really kind of think about my values in advance, which is a stretch for me. Usually I just kind of go with it and layer and not worry about it. So I have to think a little bit differently with pastel. And you saw me do some blending there over the mouth. So now there's this funky kind of dark halo, if you will, around the mouth. And I'm like, whatever, I'm going for it. I did pull out one of my Sennelier soft pastels there in a very, very light color to try and bring a little bit of highlight. And I used my finger to blend them in. I didn't want those highlights to be quite so stark, other than right under the eye and that little highlight that goes over there to create the sparkle. So there they are, this fun, funky figure, alliteration. And yeah, that was the plan for today, and I just went with it, and there they are. So a little wonky, but fun, and that's what I wanted. So that's me for today. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you're doing well as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.